Welcome to the Westchester News. We are honored to bring you this interview from America with His Excellency, Ambassador Emvula. He is the permanent representative of the Republic of Namibia to the United Nations here in America. Let us give a warm welcome to the Ambassador Emvula. I'm Barbara Ricci with the Westchester News, and we'd like to welcome the Ambassador. Ambassador is here with us from Namibia, and we would like to ask him to tell us about his country. Ambassador?
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. Yes, I'm from a country called Namibia. Maybe just for the listeners' sake to know where exactly Namibia is. We are on the southern part of Africa. We have got South Africa on our south and Angola on our north. For those who know Botswana, Botswana is on our east. We are along the Atlantic Ocean. So when you're approaching Namibia from the Americas, we're just across the Atlantic. Namibia is a beautiful country, well endowed with resources, animal life, mining resources, fisheries resources in the Atlantic, and everything currently is grazed and grown on a natural, in a natural way. So when it comes to cattle, we rear a lot of cattle. In fact, they say Namibia is a country where we have got more cattle than people. We are a small population of around 2.3 million people. Very peaceful. We got our independence in 1990. That makes us to be one of the youngest in the family of the United Nations. The United Nations is where we are now. That is what brought us here, to open the Namibian mission to represent Namibia at the United Nations.
May I ask you, who is this beautiful woman?
The beautiful woman on my left here is my right and left hand. She is my wife. She is my support, and everything that I do would have her support. Otherwise, I wouldn't have my heart and mind here. It would be all left in Namibia, and I wouldn't pay my full attention to the work that I'm supposed to be doing.
And how beautiful is Namibia?
Namibia is very beautiful. It's sunny and hot like the sun, you know, and the Namibian people are beautiful by heart like the sun.
I'm here with Ambassador Emvula and his wife, Esther, and we are going to continue talking about the beautiful country, Namibia. Can you tell me what the American people don't know about Namibia?
Yes, there is very little that American people know about Namibia. I'm saying this because wherever we move within the American community and you would tell them you're coming from Namibia, you would always get a second question. Namibia? For those who are open, they would ask you, where is that? And I think that in itself is an indication that they know very little, if any. Now, the unfortunate thing is also that when you go outside in the world and you tell people I'm coming from Africa, they think Africa is a country. Now, Africa is, of course, a continent consisting of a lot of countries. And those countries, in many cases, are very far from each other when it comes to culture, when it comes to history, when it comes to the way of living and the way of doing things. We are blessed that the country is clean, the environment is still well preserved, and our policies currently are geared towards protecting the environment. We see this to be a priority because when you look at other parts of the world, how they have damaged nature, you will appreciate the little that you have. And as Namibia currently, we see that tourism could be one of the sectors that you can really develop. Tourism is good in the sense that it connects you with other people. It's not just an element of where you sell your country and invite people to come and enjoy in terms of still be able to see animal life in their natural habitat, but it is also good in such a way that it gives you an opportunity to see people from other continents, from other countries. You meet, you learn to know of each other. So I would say that Namibia is not well known simply because we are a very peaceful country and of course a small population, as I said. Normally the news media is concentrated on sports where you have got violence, where you have got troubles, and as such, I think the mere fact that you don't hear much about Namibia should be a conclusion that things are happening in a very peaceful way, in a very peaceful environment.
Let me ask you, Ambassador, Namibia is a rich country, or is it a poor country?
Namibia is very rich in terms of culture. Namibia is very rich in terms of resources. Namibia is a rich country. Rich in the sense that as a country, we have got a lot of resources. We have got diamonds, we have got copper, we have got tin, we have got zinc, we have got uranium, and a large base of semi-precious stones. Most of these are not very well utilized in terms of mining. The concentration mainly now is on diamond, copper, and uranium. Uranium has been developed most probably over the last 25 to 30 years. So the mining sector in terms of uranium is still young, and we have got large deposits of uranium. According to the figures now, we have got 3 mines fully operational in uraniums, in the uranium sector, and because of the seek to clean energy and uranium being seen as one of, for the development of clean energy, nuclear energy for that, is gaining us more popularity. Now, when it comes to other minerals, semi-precious stones, for example, they are not yet commercially mined. They are more mined on a very small scale, mainly by local people. Large sectors like diamond, for example, of course, diamonds of the world, you know, De Beers is the main holder and the main role player in the diamond industry. They also do diamond mining in Namibia. There are American companies that that may not be mining, but that are getting diamonds from Namibia, and they are cut and polished here. And I'm sure when you see some ladies here with diamond rings, I think about Namibia as one of the countries could have been a source of those diamonds.
Namibia has the most beautiful diamonds in the world, doesn't it?
They call, well, most of our diamonds are alluvial, which is natural from the soil. The diamond industry has grown in such a way that currently they are even mining offshore. And they are actually saying that they are collecting more diamonds from the seabed now than on land.
I am here with Ambassador Emvula and his wife, Esther, and we are going to continue talking about the beautiful country, Namibia. How does Namibia differ from America?
Well, Namibia differs in great respects. One of them, we are seen to be a small population, and we would be like a small city somewhere far away from New York in the world context. So what we would most probably call cities, like for example when we talk about our capital, which is Windhoek, we call it a city. It would most probably not feature much as a city in the American context. Now, where you have got a small population, it's easier controlled. People are peaceful because they know almost one another. If you would go to Namibia now and to go around the street of the capital, ask a number of people about people, they would know each other. So that creates almost that family bond. Namibia are very proud people in the sense that they are not much of travelers. They don't want to go too long away from Namibia.
I am here with Ambassador Emvula and his wife, Esther, and we are going to continue talking about the beautiful country, Namibia.
You hardly know who's around you, and everybody here would, what I would call, mind their own business. When you go on the street of Windhoek, you pass by somebody, you would see him or her taking note of you, either by just knowing or by even just saying hello, even if you are just a stranger. That has grown into the culture of people to take note of.
The Namibian people are very down to earth and welcoming to all the people of the world.
Yes. Yeah. And I think in that sense, those of us who are here find ourselves to be in a strange world where people pass by you and they seem not to even care or taking note of you. I think in that sense, those are the differences that we could everybody is welcome to just join in. If you are a dancer, you just participate in dancing as if you were invited. Makes Namibia a bit different from the American culture, for example.
That's beautiful. I think the American people could learn from the Namibian people. I'm here with Ambassador Emvula and his wife, Esther, and we are going to continue talking about the beautiful country, Namibia.
People go to Namibia in many cases because they know, those who know, they know that everything works. Almost between 300-400 Americans that are, I'm talking about in the Namibian environment. Of course, there are those that are doing some other services that are away from the community environment. Long before our independence, we had a lot of people who came into exile because of the apartheid system under which we were colonized. So many people fled out of the country because the living conditions were not well, people were not treated well, they were not recognized as people. We didn't have a sense of being a citizen because we were not recognized as citizens of our country, and therefore people departed from the country and went into exile. So those who have been there, some came in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and therefore after independence, they rather decided to remain where they were. But a large number of Namibians, of course, came back. Now, in America, you also have got those who came for studies, who are still at colleges and universities. Some of them complete their studies and as such get drawn into the American business sector if they were good students. They get picked, they get hired by companies, and therefore they remain here. Washington, D.C., that is actually more responsible for the affairs of taking care of the welfare of the Namibian people. Then you have got those of us who are diplomats and some of those who are working in UN and UN agencies. But you also have got people who are assigned by companies in Namibia who has got an American link. The Googles of this world, the management would want these people to come here, work here under that bigger environment in order to be able to get better training.
I'm here with Ambassador Emvula and his wife, Esther, and we are going to continue talking about the beautiful country, Namibia. Chelsea Clinton spent her honeymoon there. Was her honeymoon a gift?
The Clinton family, and I'm talking about them as a family, is well known all over the world. I'm sure in every country where you would go and talk about a Clinton, they would associate, also because of his foundation and the work that the foundation is doing. Especially in the areas of HIV/AIDS. They have done quite a lot to assist Namibia in the health sector. We have got an embassy in Washington, D.C. that is actually more responsible for the affairs of taking care of the welfare of the Namibian people. Whether Chelsea was invited by and funded for by the Namibian government to have her honeymoon in Namibia, well, that was not the case. She knew Namibia through those assistants, through the programs that they run. Some of these programs are under the office of the Prime Minister, who is very active and who came here for a number of meetings and therefore get introduced in the United States. And talking about Namibia as I do now, I think they were attracted to a country where they would have wanted to go for a honeymoon because it's a quiet country, not too many people.
I'm here with Ambassador Ambassador Emvula and his wife, Esther, and we are going to continue talking about the beautiful country, Namibia. Tell me about the beautiful diamonds that come from Namibia. Do you sell them here in America?
They are of high quality, and I know that they come into the American market because there are businesses here that deals in diamonds, and there is a company here that is actually doing cutting and polishing of diamonds in Namibia, an American company which works together with the Namibian government.
Angelina Jolie, the ambassador of goodwill, had her daughter Charlotte born in Namibia. Was the child's birth carefully planned?
For a lady, a star for that matter, living in the United States of America, thinking to go to a country like Namibia that many people only hear of and don't even know which part of the world it is, to think about going there and deliver a baby, and whether that country would be a country where you want to associate your son or your daughter as a country where he or she was born. And I'm sure there's a lot of work that has gone into it. We felt proud to have Angelina Jolie there, and having chosen Namibia as a place where she wants to deliver and bring her child. We of course appreciate that. For now, it looks as if every other year they would take Shiloh back to Namibia in order for her to remain in contact with her birthplace, because she would also be a point and a source of inspiration to those who would want to think, well, Namibia would be one of those countries we don't know where and don't have really an affiliation of wanting to go there. So I would say it must have been carefully planned. She has done quite a lot of things in Namibia in terms of social projects within education, within the tourism sector, within the health sector, something that we very much appreciate. Angelina Jolie, being an ambassador of goodwill to the United Nations, she has done quite a lot of social work, not only in Africa but in other parts of the world. So wherever she goes, she has got that affiliation of trying to know the social needs of the people, and would always come back having taken care of one or another sector within that environment and within that country.
Why are the women and children dying of starvation in Africa when there is so much wealth, Ambassador?
Africa is a very big continent, and you have got quite a number of disparities when it comes to the life of people in different countries. Many countries in Africa comes from a very neglected background in terms of them having been denied the appropriate ways of living, the appropriate facilities that would have made them to come to a level of being properly developed. Education was denied, health facilities were denied. Most of the health and education facilities were run by the churches mainly, especially before independence. And in many other countries, therefore, they started from very humble beginnings. When the colonizers left, in many cases they left with everything and left the countries to fend for themselves. And in many cases it will also need the mental change of those that have got the resources and would invest in African countries in order for them to be able to help those countries to develop, and not just go to take the resources and take them somewhere else for them to be developed, and rather assist people there in terms of employment creation. So these facilities should rather be deployed in the Namibia, in the African countries, where African people will be able to get employment and also be trained to be able to take over the development of the economies. Now, in developing a country, you need resources. Resources are normally added value by those who are well educated. It is, of course, something that would not happen overnight. It will take some time. Well, religion in the Namibian context, Namibia is mainly a Christian country. 90+% are Christians, mainly Lutheran, Catholic, and the church has played a big role, for example, in the time before our independence. As I was saying, when it comes to school education, when it comes to health facilities, in the time before independence, were more in the hands of the churches. So religion to us is almost a way of life. You would always see people singing, you will see people praying. Because of Christianity, people are peace-loving. Well, in terms of health, birth control, these are issues that are being dealt with. The Ministry of Education, in our case, have developed health facilities. Primary health care is free of charge to the Namibian people. That is to create a situation whereby you are not seen to deny people health.
Are you concerned about the corruption in America?
Corruption in America, yes. Corruption will be of concern wherever it takes place. Because in many cases, those that involve them in corruption are either civil servants or are people who are supposed to render service to the community, but they are paid to do or render this service. So for them to ask something else in return, that I would definitely say is corruption.
Absolutely.
If it is something that I would give out of my free will because I appreciate the assistance that this person has rendered, because I know they have really gone out of their way, then that would be seen to be just a token of appreciation, not because the person won. But I have seen it in the American community where you have tried to do that and they wouldn't take it. Those are the selected few that you would call humble servants, who know that this is a job I'm doing and I wouldn't even take anything from anybody, because I'm paid to deliver this service. If all of us in the world could create that sense of understanding,
Yes.
then the world could be free of corruption.
Well said. How often do you travel back and forth to Namibia?
Once in 6 months. It doesn't happen that often. The last that I have been home is way back in June. I'm entrusted to do a job here, and therefore going back to Namibia would create a sense that I'm not really doing my job. Sometimes a year would pass without me having gone. In a sense, you also at a time get homesick. But my people wouldn't appreciate me traveling often to Namibia. I'm entrusted to do a job here.
Namibia is very beautiful. It's sunny and hot like the sun, and the Namibian people are beautiful by heart like the sun.